Thank you so much for joining us. Merci d'être là, please. So we are beginning this second roundtable about art and social health. And I would like ladies to hear a little bit more about you in order to introduce yourself and tell us why you consider your art is really linked to this notion of social health. Let's hear Aishwarya first, please.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't know how I can top all of the performances, but I will try. Just a little bit of introduction about me. I come from India, and as you all may know, in India, art is not just ornamental. It is an intrinsic part of our culture. And art is often, for centuries, been used for communication. Especially through classical music and classical dance. Now, allow me to demonstrate. I don't know how many of you know, but in Indian classical dance, we have something called mudras or gestures. And I'm going to show you one which I'm sure most of you will know because it was made popular during COVID. And also through yoga, we all might know the Anjali Mudra, the Namaste. And this particular gesture conveys so many different meanings. It is the union of duality, masculine, feminine. It is a gesture of respect. It shows surrenderance. So just this one gesture communicates so many different things. And so I just wanted to let you know that this was the background that I grew up in, where art was used as a very powerful means of communication. Also, I grew up in an environment where my grandmother was a Jewish refugee in India. And so, like many people, many Jewish people in the diaspora, the only way that she could communicate with her family members that was scattered across the world was through the art of letter writing. And through these letters, for me, it was just a means of communication, but for her, it was a way of preserving her identity, a way of sharing her experiences, a way of finding some sort of comfort in uncertain times. And so I think this background is very important for everyone to know why I do what I do, because this is why I'm here. And I found purpose with my work at Unesco because through projects at Unesco, I'm able to bridge intercultural dialogue with art and use different forms of art in building bridges between different communities, different people. And I will speak more about the projects in detail, but this is a little bit of a background of where I come from.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. Natasha, we all know the wonderful singer you are, but you are also more than that. We had the chance to meet while this wonderful day of yoga. So you are also a yoga teacher, and through art, you are bringing so much to the world. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, my name is Natasha Saint-Pier, and I'm a singer, songwriter, yoga teacher from Canada. And for over 20 years, I've been sharing songs that speak of love, faith, and hope. Songs that touches the heart. I deeply believe that music holds incredible power. It softens pain, it brings comfort to the soul. And through my songs, I've received hundreds of messages, often from young girls who feel isolated, judged, or alone. They tell me how music gave them strength. Some have shared that listening to my lyrics helped them hold on, find courage, and believe in something greater than themselves. And I'm sure that it's not only my music, it's all musics. And this is one of the reasons why I chose to sing the poems of Sainte Thérèse de Lisieux. She was a Catholic saint known for her simplicity, her gentleness, and her deep faith. Her words are filled with light. They give meaning to suffering, courage in the face of adversity. And by singing them, I hope to let them resonate in people's heart beyond beliefs as a source of peace. Music isn't just about entertainment. It's about comfort, healing, and presence. If it can contribute, even in a small way, to the emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being of those who listen, then it has fulfilled its purpose.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Let's dive into something concrete, down to earth. So, Aishwarya, you were talking about programs. So, what type of programs do you run at UNESCO?
I'm not going to burden everybody with the data, but I think there's plenty of evidence to show that in areas where there is conflict or in post-conflict situations, human rights values and democratic values obviously take a backseat, they take a direct hit. And so in these situations, we've seen that art, of course, works as a powerful medium to have these important conversations about human rights. And so with this as a background, we initiated the Art Lab project in Ukraine, in the city of Lviv, where so far we have trained 22 local artists who use their own unique forms of art to talk about different democratic values, whether it's gender, inclusion, equity. They use their own unique forms of art, and they talk to the masses about different humanistic ideals. This, of course, was a very we know that artists connect better with the general public because they say something that might be very nuanced in a very simple way. So we thought it would be a great way to intervene and speak about these important issues. This was phase 1 of the project. In phase 2, we are now democratizing this approach and taking it to 5 NGOs who will now be trained in human rights-based approaches on how to use art for healing, for reconciliation, for use really the transformative power of art in rehabilitation in Ukraine. And we hope to then synthesize a lot of these success stories, these approaches into a toolkit, which we hope will be used in Ukraine and, of course, beyond in conflict and post-conflict situations.
Yes, so we are touching a very important notion that we are calling artivism, which is a combination between art and activism. And this notion of artivism is, as Aishwarya is describing pretty well, how art can be useful in terms of prevention of conflict, during the conflict and post-conflict. And we see that by using this artistic intermediary, we can create spaces in order for people to get resilience and even to discuss in order to heal from war, for example. Thank you very much to share that with us. Natasha, could you give us a concrete example of how you link art with social health?
Well, that question was hard. When you asked me that, I had to reflect a little bit about it. And one song that I sang back in 2006 resonated in me again. And the title of the song is Tant que j'existerai. It means as long as I'll exist. And that song that I had the honor to perform on my album Longueur d'onde is for me a song that is more than just about poetic lyrics or heartfelt cry. It's a true statement for human dignity, a declaration in support of the fundamental rights to respect, freedom of identity, and equality. It begins with a powerful imagery. It's not just walls, it's also the looks. It reminds us that exclusion doesn't always come in from a physical borders or visible laws, but often through judgment, hurtful words, and stigmatizing glances. These invisible forms of violence isolate, reject, and wound. The songs speak of discrimination, of those who are denied the right to simply be or to love because of who they are. But instead of giving in to despair, it responds with a quiet yet powerful resistance. As long as I will exist, I will show who I am, I will speak my differences. In this, the song affirms a fundamental human right, the right to identity, to expression, and to visibility. This song gives a voice to those who are often silenced. It becomes an anthem for minorities, for those who are discriminated against because of their gender, origin, religion, orientation, or disability. It tells them nothing is ever lost in advance, a message of hope and resilience. And most importantly, it calls on all of us not to look away, to stand up for this essential right, the right to exist fully, without having to hide, without being ashamed of who we are. So yes, this song helps advance human rights because it speaks of the heart, awakens the conscience, and makes music a space of freedom, justice, and love.
Beautiful. Could we ask you the chorus of this one?
The chorus goes, tant que j'existerai, quoi que le monde en pense, je resterai qui je suis, je dirai mes différences, tant que j'existerai, tant qu'il y aura une chance, je resterai qui je suis, rien n'est jamais perdu d'avance.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful. We could stay with you the full afternoon, but unfortunately, we still have a wonderful artist coming and another very important roundtable. Let's listen to your message today for World Art Day. Aishwarya, please.
I feel like I'm at the Grammys with all the performances that are happening.
You are.
I cannot sing, but I wanted to share a quote as a parting message that I had read in the Vietnamese Museum of Art and History, and it stuck with me because it said something so fundamental and essential. The quote says, "Very few people live for the sake of the present time. People usually live either because of the past or because of the future. While performing their art, the artist is living for the sake of the present time with the most proper signification of the word." So I feel like by capturing the now, art has the unique ability for us to reshape the past and the present, and it allows us to grow, to transform. And even in times when words fail, art has the potential to keep the conversation going, and I think that is my parting message for the day.
Thank you very much, Aishwarya. Dear Natasha, thank you again for coming. Please, what would be your message today for World Art Day?
So, on this World Art Day, I would like to end with a deep conviction. Art is not just an expression, it is a breath. A breath for those who can't find the words, for those who go unheard, for those who are pushed aside. Through my music, through the lyrics I sing, whether they speak of love, faith, or difference, I try to create a space where each person can feel seen, understood, and a little less alone. A space where healing begins quietly. I truly believe that art is a silent but essential human right. The right to dream, to feel, to be heard in a different way. And as long as there are voices to sing, hands to paint, bodies to dance, there will be hope. Thank you to Unesco for honoring the quiet power of heart. And thank you to each of you who continue to believe in this ability to make our world softer, fairer, and more human. Thanks.
Thank you for this beautiful message of hope. Thank you to both of you ladies. When art is here to create peace. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.